The Wolverine.
It's the story of Jesus Christ.
A big action summer movie that I'm not going to care about because of Matt Damon.
And the main villain, Jodie Foster.
Because of Matt Damon.
God, I wish Godzilla would come and destroy my school.
Each zombie is an individual person.
It'd be great is if Vin Diesel's head got chopped off.
Vin Diesel thinks it's going to be number one.
It's the summer movie Smackdown.
Yeah!
Woo! Yeah! We'll see. Hey! Welcome to the show. I am that Chris Gore. This is PodCRASH. This is the show where you get to hear me as a guest each week on a different podcast. You get to discover new shows. I get to talk about a variety of topics. This week, we're talking about the summer movies. That's right. I was on a podcast called One Photo Reviews, and we talked everything summer movies. The movies we're looking forward to, sort of like betting on the horse race that is the summer movie season. What films are going to win? What's going to lose? What do we think is going to be awesome? What do we think is going to tank? We talk about everything from Star Trek Into Darkness to Man of Steel to Pacific Rim to a whole load of stuff with a great group of guys from One Photo Reviews. We'll be getting to that later. A couple quick things. I want to remind you that we are part of the Sideshow Network. PodCRASH is a proud part of the Sideshow Network, which is a network of other podcasts like Caleb Bacon's Man School, Tommy Chong has a podcast, a whole bunch of great shows. You can go to SideshowNetwork.tv. And we have our first sponsor. If you want to show your support for PodCRASH, just join Dollar Shave Club. That's right. We all shave. I like to shave my face. I shave other places, too. Women shave. This is for everybody. And I also tend to go for those little pricier razors. Well, this will save you money and time by joining Dollar Shave Club. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/Chris. It's simple, high-quality razors, guaranteed, sent to you on schedule. Every month you get a new pack, and it's awesome. So I am signing up for this because that's a way that I can actually support my own show, which in a way supports me. So go to dollarshaveclub.com/Chris. Another thing just announced. I am going to be at the Phoenix Comic-Con Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd through 26th. I'm going to be there the whole weekend, but I'm going to be doing PodCRASH live on Saturday, May 25th at 7:30 p.m. Very special. It's my second time back to Phoenix Comic-Con. Not sure exactly what my special guests are going to be. I'm still working that out. But you can get more information at phoenixcomiccon.com or go to facebook.com/PodCRASH. I'll be telling you more about that later, more information. Another thing, if you listen to the very end of the show, you're a fan. You listen to the very end, you know that you can get the PodCRASH fan club kit, and it's really easy. You just send a self-addressed stamped envelope to PodCRASH with that Chris Gore, 5042 Wilshire Boulevard, PMB 1500, Los Angeles, California 90036. I bet you didn't know that. So you get the free PodCRASH fan club kit. It's this little fan club newsletter, which is kind of based on these cheesy fan clubs that I joined as a kid because I'm pretty much like a kid in the body of nearly an adult. And I love those kits. I still have issues of Bantha tracks and many Star Wars fan club membership kits from years gone by. So it's a fun version of that. It's free, and in it I ask for feedback. I give you the email to email me. You can just email me at podcrashwiththatchrisgore@gmail.com. And got a great letter from a guy named Justin Farrell, who great guy. I just want to read a couple of highlights from his letter because I asked for feedback. So he's giving some feedback, and he says, I say that we're like old friends or something. Anyway, in the fan club newsletter, he asked for feedback, so I thought I'd give you my 2 cents. Father, husband, soldier, 25 years. Thank you for your service. Railroader podcast listener. Okay, what other podcast would I like to see crashed? Yeah, it's that bad. Your energy and their energy would probably put me out of a job. We haul coal for power plants. This guy has a real job. All right, when the zombie apocalypse happens, and I know it's going to happen, I am completely worthless. I can talk and maybe entertain or be not boring sometimes, although I don't know. Those plugs at the beginning, if you're like me, maybe you scanned through them. But anyways, this guy is the real thing. He also mentions film spotting, and he also mentions that we're a lot alike, that he likes to drink, and he also has OCD and a very short attention span. The great letter from Justin Farrell. Just want to say thank you, and you can send your letters. I'll read highlights from them. Just send it to podcrashwiththachrisgore@gmail.com. Okay. I have an announcement. I've been working on several projects in my sort of new phase of my career, okay? And I've talked about some of them, a couple animated shows that are upcoming. When I have exact dates for where and when you can see those, you will know. But I have become friends with Adrianne Curry. She and I are working on a new project. And I can't really tell you everything about this project right now. Let me just tell you just a little bit. I think what I'm excited about most regarding this project is that we're developing it in conjunction with the audience. Okay, so Adrianne and I are doing this project, which I can't tell you everything about yet. But what I will say is that it's not Attack of the Show. It's a totally different show, and it's catering to an audience that maybe, like the audience from Attack of the Show, would watch TV but maybe have a device or a computer in their hand, so they like to multitask, right? This show is also not about Adrianne Curry or myself. It's really about the audience. Okay, and I kind of feel like in the absence of Attack of the Show, an entire audience has been completely ignored. An audience that really got together and liked hanging out and having this ongoing discussion about pop culture, about movies, about technology, about the internet. It was an ongoing conversation, and I've been reading your tweets, reading your emails, talking to you at various conventions. And I feel that there's definitely a gap. There's something that's been missing and that's lost. So this thing that we're doing is not Attack of the Show, but the audience that would watch Attack of the Show might like this show. It's going to be, I can't exactly say because we are developing it, but what we're doing is mostly in the realm of TV development. They do a pilot for a show after all kinds of network notes, and executives give notes, right? Tons of notes. Then you make a version of the show. Then it gets focus tested, or as some like to call it, fuckus tested. And actually, I've been the victim of this. I did this show years ago for IFC called Ultimate Film Fanatic, and I remember that they focus tested it because there was some question about whether I may or may not be the host. And I guess one of the comments on the comment card that said, "I like the host. He's an asshole." So, I'll take that. There are likable assholes. I think I passed in that regard. In any case, normally the development is done in a bubble or with companies that are paid way too much money to basically ask people, "So what do you think of this show?" And then they listen to the notes. I've never thought that. I kind of feel that this ongoing discussion, it's not about the host. It's really about a group of people that get together that are like-minded, that like to talk about these things, and we're into the same things. So we're kind of all sharing together. So what we're doing uniquely is we're developing the show with the audience. And the way you can do that, and it's also using a technology where you'll be able to not only watch the show, but you'll be able to switch from different camera angles. So, for example, you'll get to see the wide shot, the close-up, cut to the other videos that are going on, other people that are involved in the show. And we're doing kind of a demo while we are actually developing and trying out segments. And it's very raw. I mean, last week, Adrianne and I did a thing where we were just writing on legal pad. We were like writing the names of what the segments were. So you can participate in this. And I'm only telling this to you, the listeners of my podcast. All right. We're kind of keeping this quiet for now, but I do want to reach out to people who could actually help in terms of watching us weekly. We're doing these run-throughs, and you can watch us do segments and then give us instant feedback. The cool thing also about the technology is it allows the audience to be on the show, to be a part of the show. So this is kind of could you call it Attack of the Show 2.0? Some are probably going to call it. Am I going to be criticized for this in some way? Yes, but this isn't Attack of the Show. I can tell you definitively it is not. It is merely a show that will appeal to much of the same audience. I'll have more to say about this because I can't speak for Adrian, but you can find out if you go to at REVENGEOFTHESHO. Okay, do you got that? It's on Twitter. Just go on Twitter at REVENGEOFTHESHO. Go follow that Twitter account, and you will see tweets that will tell you how to watch us do this weekly process, which we'll be doing all through the month of May. On Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, every Monday. If you follow that Twitter account, it'll tell you exactly where to go, and you can actually watch us do these run-throughs. It's actually kind of fascinating. We've done it already a couple of times, and it's amazing to see this works, this doesn't work. Okay, how about we try this? We're setting up the room, we're trying out the names of segments, doing things. It's different, and I'm inviting you to be a part of it, and we'll appreciate any feedback that you would be willing to give. So there you are. All right, moving on. This episode's Crash, one photo reviews. Let's see, it was recorded at CosplayCon, which I told you about. And the hosts are Scott Davis, Mark David Christensen, and another guy, Carlos Santos, is a guest. But Scott and Mark are improv comedians with UCB. Carlos is actually this personality on MTV Tres, and he's like an actor. So it was fun. It was like the four of us basically. Also, and Scott used to work on, he actually used to work at G4 on Web Soup, and he currently works on the Nerdist TV show, which is an awesome show. So each week, Scott and his friends sit down and chat about movies. They talk about movies that they've seen, what they plan to see. Matt Myra's been a guest on the show. And it's really cool too. They have their friend Cody each week leaves a short voicemail with a movie that she's seen. And this was recorded, like I said, at Frank & Sons at CosplayCon. And Scott and Mark were great. Carlos was funny. And it was basically just the four of us dudes talking about the summer movies. Which was a lot of fun. I actually think that this summer could be shaping up to be one of the best summers. I keep hearing so many good things about some of these films, and then actually I've heard some bad things about some other ones too. Hey, we discussed it on One Photo Reviews, which you can listen to. For doing a movie podcast, this is possibly the worst time to be doing a movie podcast because this is the dregs of they're throwing stuff out now. The stuff that's coming up this summer.
Yeah. I have a list of all the biggest movies coming out this summer.
Oh, let's talk about it.
I want to get what your guys' opinion of what you think is going to be like the big moneymaker this summer and what's going to be the flop.
So we're gonna basically you're asking us basically to which horse should we bet on? Effectively, let's go through the list. I think we should get all of our
Have you ever
opinions.
done one of those pools where it's like the fantasy football?
I've done that pool. I mean, Oscar pool. Everybody's done it. But this kind of pool I haven't done. Summer movie box office pool. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay.
Start at the bottom of your list.
Are we starting with calendar order or
alphabetical
order?
I wrote them down calendar order from Entertainment Weekly. I don't know.
So we should rank them. Right?
Yeah, but
here we go.
These are mostly.
I want to look at the dates.
Sure.
And stuff.
So,
hey, Carlos, I don't know where you're
Elysium.
from. Can we talk about
Yeah.
Like we've never met.
I know, right?
Yeah.
My name is Carlos.
Carlos, good to meet you.
I've been around. I do comedy.
Santos.
I was at
Comedy?
MTV at some point.
Used to be a VJ on
I did
MTV.
MTV Tres.
Really?
Now you can see my floppy hair in Metro PCS commercials.
Nice.
I met Carlos when
We
he
went
was
to-
I'm sorry, I just never met. I wanted to get to know
Online because I
Carlos.
looked you up right before this podcast, and I didn't realize. Yeah, you have the whole walking one, right?
Which
All
I
this
saw
shit's
at
going
the
on around
counter as I was ordering a burger. I met Carlos when he was a foreign exchange student at Fresno State University.
I did a musical while not being part of the school, and that's when I transferred over as my confirmation that I shouldn't be in computer engineering. We did Blood Brothers. And I was like, I think I'm going to stick around. I think this is where I need to be.
And then we did 12th Night.
We did 12th Night.
Nice. Wait. Iron Man 3 is not in your list. Oh, wait. It's not calendar order. Okay.
You're right. I went what was listed in Entertainment Weekly.
All right. Are we doing this? It's the summer movie Smackdown.
Yeah! We've got Man of Steel.
Summer movie smackdown.
The Great
Put an
Gatsby.
explosion in there. Okay, so wait. So we're gonna start. Okay, The Great Gatsby.
It might flop.
I personally think it's gearing up to be a flop.
Yeah.
It might bring people in because of the names,
The
but
first weekend.
I don't know. I think it
Let me
looks
read
such a
off-
silly over the top.
Let me read off these and then we'll go back through. Iron Man 3, Star Trek Into Darkness, The Hangover 3, Fast and Furious 6, World War Z,
I think it's gonna be money.
This Is the End, After Earth, Pac Rim,
Yeah.
The Wolverine,
We'll see.
The Lone Ranger, Elysium.
Not interested. Okay, so what are you asking us about each one? Like our impressions, what we're thinking, like what's the question?
First of all,
being thrown
from
out?
everyone, what do you think is going to be the
Man of
biggest
Steel.
summer? You think Man of Steel, really?
Wow, I want to believe
That's what I want to believe.
a man can fly, but I'm
Iron
not
Man
sure.
3 is
I'm not
gonna-
sure.
I think that's
I think
got the
Iron
most
Man 3
hype.
is going to be the
and
biggest.
Star Trek are going to be the closest.
Well,
call.
the problem is, when is Man of Steel coming out? July?
Man of Steel comes out this. When does it come out?
It's coming out in the middle
June
of summer.
15th.
May.
It's June 15th.
June 15th.
June.
Is
So
that a summer
obviously
movie?
Iron Man 3 is coming out first.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 is like May 3rd.
But which one has more?
Iron Man 3 is the kickoff of the
The beginning of the summer season.
Do we have to keep using my brain instead of having facts written down? Let's get this in gear. So so the question is for each one, what do we think is going to happen? What do we think what are our impressions of Iron Man 3?
Yeah, and then Spawn.
Iron Man 3 is going to be the coolest thing ever, in my opinion.
It's
I think
almost
it's going to
like
be the
Iron
best
Man.
of the three.
You think so?
Yeah. I think it's going to have a great script. It's going to look cool.
Back with a Vengeance because of the second one.
Yeah. A lot of people are talking about that it's going to have too many villains, too much stuff going on.
Wait, who's making that
Fit
complaint?
that.
I have heard from
About Iron
several
Man
people.
3?
Yeah.
What are the other villains?
3 times.
I don't know for I know that the Mandarin is the main villain.
Yeah, but then there's like Guy Pearce. Seems like maybe like, but
Like the Sam Spade type.
Right.
yeah, too
But-
many villains. I wonder who.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a great movie. I think it's going to make a shitload of money.
Make your case. Make your case. Why do you think it's going to be great?
I think it's going to have a great script. I think it's not going to be a letdown. It's going to be we're going to see a lot of Iron Men, as you said. It's going to be 100 times better than the second one.
I feel like Iron Man 3 out of all the Marvel movies is the most popular. So I think it already has that set to walk into it.
Get more info and find show Easter eggs at our official website at podcrash.net. Now back to this week's podcast. I don't know why they start with the origin story. You could always tell the origin in a quick flashback like they did for the first 50 Fantastic Four comic books.
Yeah.
Remember when we got in that we went up and the cosmic rays got us? What?
Which we're getting a huge origin story with Man of Steel.
Right. So, but like with Iron Man, you got no burden of the origin story. You've got Robert Downey Jr. Everybody loves. It is. You're right. I agree with you. It's the best of all the Marvel single, character origin movies.
And his
or just
revenge.
You've got like it's all or nothing because it feels like it's the last one. At least with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, like it feels like it's the last one, even though he'll be an Avenger. So it's got that going for it. And I don't know. I agree with you. I think you could have made a better case, but we made it for you. So we're with you.
I agree, but what I'm saying is there's already a precedent for Iron Man 3. There's so much buzz in it. People are expecting so much out of Man of Steel.
That could
That
do
to
it.
me is what kind of edges it out. Because I know that Iron Man 3 is going to be good.
Also, show me something I haven't seen before, which I think, to me, with the summer movie like Pacific Rim, show me something I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Robots fighting monsters, not with guys in suits, but where it actually looks realistic. Or, like
I
in
don't know
Superman,
if-
show me a vision of the Man of Steel that isn't a ripoff of the Christopher Reeve Superman, which Superman Returns was basically a remake of the... They even cast a guy, Brandon Routh, who I actually really like in other stuff.
not Superman, but a guy who looks like Christopher
Exactly,
Reeve,
an actor,
and
yeah.
then they use the same music. It's like,
I was
dude.
telling these guys earlier that movie, we wouldn't have Man of Steel right now if that movie wasn't the sacrificial lamb, because I think people needed
Right.
to get over the nostalgia factor. So it played its part. You
I
can
do-
talk really bad about that movie, and I didn't like it either, but it needed to happen in order for people to move on.
Wait, my favorite scene with Superman Returns is the scene where he gets better in the hospital at the end. I thought that was amazing. When he gets better, oh my God, it was so lame.
When he was a dad.
The only thing with Man of Steel is, like, I get the argument, like, why, but I just don't think it has, because it's a reboot, I think it has that stigma now that they've already lost a little bit of what it would the automatic pre-sales that you would have gotten if Superman Returns would have been a good movie, and you would have gotten on top of Superman fans or comic book fans in general that are automatically preset. I think you lost a lot of a general audience of just moviegoers.
Do you think?
I think you lost that between the gaps, so now you have to gain them back with
Do
Man
you
of
think
Steel.
Man of Steel falls under the category of a sequel or a new movie?
It's a new movie, and that's a thing.
I agree with
Because
that.
sequels seem to make
That's
more
why
money than
I think you're gonna have
first.
I think it's gonna be very successful, but it's gonna be a warm up. I don't think it's so that if
It's
they do a
definitely gonna
sequel,
make money.
they're gonna make
I don't
tons
think it's
more
going to make
money.
the most.
I just don't. I mean, I'll be surprised if it's the best selling movie of the summer.
But wait a sec, are we going to potentially experience superhero fatigue? Meaning, like, superhero movies as a genre, it's not going away, right?
Right.
Like, Marvel's going to do their Phase 2, which
Yeah.
is leading up to Avengers 2, right? So you've got all these other Iron Man 3, the next Thor movie, the next, Winter Soldier, the
Yeah.
Captain America movie, building up to Avengers 2. So, but are we going to experience some superhero fatigue? And maybe Man of Steel will be a victim of that, no matter how good it is? Because I hear that it's basically, because Chris Nolan is executive producing Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Is it going to be kind of the dark Man of Steel?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Is it? Like, and I'm saying, is that a bad thing, too?
I say that. I read a little bit of a small spoiler. Can I say it?
Yes.
It's just.
But now you've warned us.
I'm warning.
Okay, okay.
All it is about.
doesn't want it.
It's about the. It's a change in.
I'll be surprised.
It's a change in Superman.
Wait, let me explain my spoiler philosophy. I'll be surprised when you tell me. Okay, now tell me the spoiler. I want to know the spoiler.
Well, it's about the history of Krypton, really.
Let's hear it.
Because they say that in this new one,
Isn't it based more on the Jeff Loeb comic reinvention? Like, didn't he
it could be. I haven't read it, so I can't say.
Okay.
But they're pretty much saying they want to make Superman more flawed because he's considered the perfect superhero.
Just kind of a boring character as a character. When you're perfect.
I have arguments that I disagree with that.
Okay.
but that on Krypton, they genetically, all the people of the Kryptonians are genetically built to be perfected, and Superman or Kal-El is the actual first naturally born being on Krypton. So therefore, he's illegal and flawed. And to me, I personally, when I read that, I was like, great, but I don't think necessary.
Yeah, like, who cares? Like, why all that unnecessary?
That's how I feel about it. I'm
that's stupid.
So I'm like, I hope that, even though that might be part of the movie, I hope it's played in very subtly and like.
I think it plays into
That's how
why.
I also think,
Zod
why
is
do you
there.
need that? It's like the reason. I mean, the reason I think Dark Knight Rises is so flawed is because Batman would never have retired for 8
Right.
years. A guy who saw his parents gunned down at the age of 9, 10 years old is like, oh, my girlfriend got killed. I'm really sad. My knee hurts. I'll stop. What?
That was my
and
greatest
by the way,
Everybody's
just tell him
Batman.
I killed Harvey Dent. You mean don't blame it on one of the other nefarious criminals in the city? No.
city is
I'll
full of
take the fall for that. Why the fuck did you need to do that? It makes no sense.
But I would.
Okay, so it's like all this unnecessary bullshit. Like that's unnecessary. Who cares? I love the idea of it. The planet's gonna blow up. I'm gonna get rid of my son. It's very Moses. It's Jesus Christ. It's sending your son, your son to another place to teach a lesson to these the more meek, whatever. Like he's gonna live among you.
He's a god.
Right. He's a god. No, it's the story of Jesus Christ.
World War Z.
I think it's a flop.
I heard some inside info. I can't say from where. from some people who've seen like a 20 minutes of the movie. They didn't show the screen the whole thing. They screened 20 minutes. Spoiler. It's interesting. The people who made the film
Spoiler,
studied
zombies.
What
The
they
Z
did
stands for
was is they
zombies.
actually tried to scientifically think if there were beings that had a hive mentality, there were zombies. Okay, because like how would they actually function physically in the real world?
Right.
They studied how ants and bees like work together in a group. And there is a scene in World War Z, think of this one, where they climb up
Yeah.
and actually take out a helicopter.
That's in the trailer a little bit.
Yeah, you see a little bit of that. They actually sort of like move their hive and like almost move together as one, take out a helicopter. So what it does is, in effect, a lot of zombie movies kind of like add onto the legend. You know, like, oh, like there's this thing. Then, you know, I mean, there was White Zombie, then Romero's Night of the Living Dead in '68. And like all these things kind of add to, you know, zombie lore. That's something that, you know, whether you buy that or not, I just think the fact that they've deviated so much from that brilliant book.
That's the thing.
I'm not excited about
it. A lot of people are having trouble with the fact that it might be a good movie, but because it's tied to the book, a lot of people are already upset.
They should have just made that movie and not called it World War Z. Just make Brad Pitt running from zombies with his family rather than like this brilliant oral history of the zombie war.
It seemed like it played more like a miniseries.
It would have been better as a miniseries, the book. So
Turn it into Game of Thrones.
What do you guys think?
I think it looks boring. I think it is going to be something. It's going to be a big action summer movie that I'm not going to care about. I'm not going to care about the characters. It's going to be a lot of visuals that look cool but don't really make sense.
It looks completely formulaic. Where I'm like, great, zombie, a guy that's like, I can't leave my family, but we need you. You're the best. And then I have to leave my family and go do this thing. And then I got to get back to my family. I don't know. It just seems so formulaic. Things like that.
It's got the woman from The Killing in it. I like that.
But what if they made the trailers that way on purpose?
Then they did a bad job. That's not what they're supposed to do.
Start just doing teasers. I wish they would just do teasers and not show me anything in a movie and just let me go in. But
so
that's never going to
boo
happen.
for World War Z.
Put it at the bottom.
And that whole ant thing to me looks cartoonish to me.
Yeah. It looks too digital. It looks too digital. That's
and I'm
the
like,
problem.
I just don't think even us is working that way. I don't think we functionally, as our bodies are built, that would work.
And also, I feel
don't
like
know. It just
the progression of zombie culture has gotten to the point where we kind of feel for the zombies, like with Walking Dead. Like each zombie is an individual person, and now they're like just taking that away.
I hope in
and
the
it's
movie
just
they're all wearing
us.
V for Vendetta masks as zombies.
Pac Rim.
That could be the movie of the summer. It does the one thing that I think a summer movie that I always look for: originality.
Yeah.
I want to show me something I've never seen before, and I've never seen, like growing up watching Ultraman, watching Godzilla movies, giant monster movies as a kid. My fantasy was, God, I wish Godzilla would come and destroy my school so I didn't have to go to school. I want there to be an apocalypse brought on by a giant monster that smashes things with his feet. And I've never seen that look realistic.
On that scale, yeah.
Pacific Rim, I think, could be, with the exception of, I'm not a big fan of Garrett Hedlund. I think, he was the guy who was the lead in Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He takes wooden acting to new
Makes
lows.
Paul Walker.
I'm just not a fan of him, and so I hope that he's not. Whereas Idris
you got
Elba's in it.
Idris, though.
Idris Elba's in it.
Idris
I
Elba is-
loved him. Like even
Yeah.
like his scenes in Prometheus. Like I love that guy. Anything he fucking does, I follow that guy.
Yeah.
So he's in it. That saves it for me. But the human characters, as long as you care just a little, I care about. There's robots fighting monsters.
That's all I. As soon as I saw that's what that movie was about, I was like,
Yeah.
you got me sold.
Listen,
on that.
Yeah, nerd boner.
Complete
Yeah.
nerd boner.
Maybe we change our scale from like 1 to whatever
One
to fully
boner.
erect.
Fully erect.
Fully erect.
The
Yeah.
only thing is, if we're going off of like success of it, I think it's a movie that's built for us that want those movies. We're waiting for those.
I don't know how much.
I don't know if it's going to be a huge success.
But they
overall.
also have
But it
not
could
gotten
surprise
into.
me.
Yeah,
I
some
just-
people might think it's a live version of the Disney, the anime Monsters and Aliens.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's. I don't know.
But they haven't gotten into the full media push
Probably true.
for the ads yet.
If-
right now,
if
it's just
if
talk
it's
on the
hugely
internet. We're really
successful
excited
among
about it.
Visuals.
the mass audience, I'm going to be overjoyed and overly surprised. That's how I feel about it. Because I know I'm excited for it.
I
got
sure?
really-
Like, there's not. I mean, just like I think the scale of it and the originality. Really, Guillermo del Toro. Like, I don't know. Like,
I'm totally.
I hope so.
so you're saying that
we
we're sold, but you're saying mainstream
I think
audiences.
mainstream
mainstream
audience might
audiences,
still
I-
have a feeling of Transformer-ish, and that's
Because Transformers movies weren't successful at all. Oh wait, they were, in spite of the fact that
But
they
do
were
you thi-
pieces
right,
of
but they're
shit.
saying-
But do
They
you
make
think
it
it?
happen.
But I still
people
love
will
the
look at it
giant
as a
monsters
rip-off
beating
of
the
that.
crap out of each
I
other.
do true.
So it's like I think it'll be successful because it'll be the better
I think it's gonna be
version of
successful. I
Transformers.
don't think it's going to be one of the tops.
All right,
I agree.
What's your ranking?
I think it's going to be below 5.
What?
I think it's going to be 5 or below. Yeah.
What?
I don't think
And
that.
it's not because I don't think the movie's going to be great. It's going to be something like Attack the Block that I'll go watch and go.
It's going to be
fucking
bigger
Attack-
than Attack the Block.
I know it's going to be bigger, but I think my
Do you-
feeling's going to be better.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
love
that.
it.
I don't know the
And
answer to this, but has Del Toro's movies? Has he had a huge hit?
Because I don't even think his Hellboy.
Wait a second.
Hellboy
Wait a
is
second.
on.
You're right. He hasn't had a huge hit.
Hellboys
I mean,
have not.
he's the guy that nerds love and,
Yeah.
and other
'Cause he
filmmakers
chooses to do his
admire.
own thing.
Had he done The
And-
Hobbit, maybe.
Right, and he's not doing, he's not. Well, Hellboy, but I mean, Hellboy was so cool because it's not like a typical cliche superhero to do. I don't know.
I feel like Hellboy is more of like a cult hit than a.
So what you're saying? We will love it. Will mainstream audiences love it? We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping.
So that's
it's,
what the
I hope
ranking
It's,
you're
I hope it's
basing
a
Number
surprise
5 or
win.
6.
But I
Okay.
don't- I'm
So
not.
what are you basing the rankings then? That's what are you basing
I'll
on
say
the money
number
that it's
5.
going to make or how good it's going to be?
I think
Two
it's
different things.
I think we're doing
Money. We're doing
Money, unfortunately.
What's next?
I don't agree with this. I don't agree with money being the scale, but money is the barometer by which Hollywood gauges success. And so
And a second
and
movie.
You're right, a second movie or future movies that are ripoffs of that movie.
Yeah.
100% agree.
I think the number 4 movie will be Lone Ranger.
You are friggin' crazy.
I don't want to
Let's
see
hear
it.
your reasons.
Disney. It's a big
Johnny Depp.
Disney movie. It's their biggest summer movie.
Carter.
John Carter.
But it's their big
Paging
summer
John
movie.
Carter. John Carter. What else? What about some of these ones like Elysium, which is kind of a mystery?
Elysium.
The first trailer, like, I mean, when does that open? That's later in the summer, right? It's
It
gotta
is
be.
later, yeah. It's August.
What is your impression? Like, it's a weird. It's sort of like class warfare meets like a dystopia.
I think it
Yeah.
looks cool, but
Future dystopia.
it looks too epic, and I don't think they can pull it off
I
into
was
a good
bored
movie.
by the.
It looks like the Halo movie. I was a little bored by the trailer too.
I was
I'm like,
like- 'cause I was like-
and the main villain, Jodie Foster, taking a turn from Vickers from Prometheus.
Jodie Foster.
I'm gonna be the ice cold bitch ruler of this Halo like paradise. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
It
weird.
looks very like typical. Like I can pick up what's typical about the structure of like the class structure, but it didn't sell me on anything that I was like blown away by.
But
See,
it's
like,
District
coming off
9.
of
You'll
District
block camp.
9.
Like what? I mean, it could be. I don't know. Could be
It's
really
wheelhouse.
cool.
I'm hoping it surprises me because I like District 9 so much.
Right.
I think the great thing about District 9, though, was that it was pretty much a small story. It wasn't
Yeah.
really epic. It was about one guy.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And
That's what the magic,
it was almost like an indie film with amazing special effects. This,
this doesn't
it
feel
seems,
that.
it doesn't. It
Flip
seems
around.
like a big
It feels
summer
like-
blockbuster.
Yeah, and it doesn't even feel like it. I mean, it feels like we know Matt Damon's going to be like the main story.
And I don't
But it
buy.
doesn't feel like it's about him. It feels like he's a metaphor for a whole idea.
Yeah, but it.
Here's one thing I would say is that, like, District 9, you saw the trailers, then you saw the movie. There was so much in that movie that was not in the trailers. I feel like trailers ruin movies
Yeah.
today. I feel like I've seen enough of Star Trek Into Darkness.
I only
You know?
watch like the first two,
I
and
haven't
then
watched
I
much.
stay away from everything.
Yeah, there's just too much. And then there's, of course, there's all the different TV version trailers.
TV spots are
The
horrible.
TV
Yeah.
They show
spots,
way too much.
and it's just like they show too much. Like, you know, what I like is that with District 9, we did. I mean, there's so many parts of that movie we didn't know were going to happen.
Yeah.
You know where it was going.
And I like that. I like the sense of I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Me too.
Yeah. So how do we think?
Well, at least
Is it going to make money?
Elysium is. I feel like it's hard to
Get
even
lost in the
predict.
shuffle.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like
I think it's
question
either
mark.
going to be a very lukewarm moneymaker or a sleeper where it makes tons of.
I don't think
know.
it's
So it
I
could
feel
go
like it's
either
gonna get
way.
lost in the shuffle.
I think it's a toss up with that one, just because I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, my gut actually says it will make more money than Pac Rim.
Why does your gut say that?
Make
Because
more money
of-
than what?
Because of Matt Damon.
You're right, Matt
will make
Damon.
money.
Yeah.
More money than what?
Pac Rim.
But he's been.
I
in
think
some-
it's going to make more money than Pac Rim
What?
because of Matt Damon. Because Pac Rim is mainly
Matt Damon
it's just
basically
we all
has a
love
superhero.
him, but he hasn't really sunk into like he's not like on the tip of like normal America's tongue.
Pac Rim. I think look at Transformers. That's what Pac Rim is going to do. Transformers type numbers, and all those movies have been huge hits, regardless of the quality, regardless of the flaws. It's giant robots beating the crap out of each other, which I've always wanted to see.
Simple concept to sell.
Yeah. All right, let's make it easy.
Back to the Furious with Vin Diesel. How's that movie gonna do? It's got Vin Diesel in it. Okay, if I'm Vin Diesel, I'm thinking that movie's gonna be number one.
That's my Vin Diesel imitation, by the way.
Vin Diesel thinks it's going to be number one.
I think number 6 is going to make a shit ton
I
of
think
money.
you guys have been talking about the new Fast and the Furious. I'm thinking if Vin Diesel's in it, it's a good movie.
All right, now do Will Smith.
I can't do Will Smith. I can't do Will Smith.
I think I think number 6 is going to make a shit ton of money. Fast 5 revived it.
Yeah.
By adding The Rock, you revived that.
Well, that's the thing.
franchise.
The Rock, I will see anything with The Rock in it.
Great.
Just
Yeah, I
'cause
love The Rock.
he's such a likable character in anything he
agree.
does. You know, even when he's playing the anti-hero, I mean, you just like The Rock.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I like the trailer. I think it looks fun as hell. I think.
All right, you sold me. Even though Vin Diesel's is he in it?
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Vin Diesel's a wet mop, but the franchise isn't now. It's no longer based.
It'd be
on
great
him.
is if Vin Diesel's head got chopped off and it was just a talking Vin Diesel head through the whole movie. He's got no
carrying
body. It's like
around
Weekend
a
at
head.
Bernie's, but somehow they invented
love
some
it.
formula that like, hey, I'm just a head,
love it.
but I'm running around. And then you put the head like in a bowling bag, and everyone's trying to get Vin Diesel's head, and they're running around. They're like bouncing it around, like boom.
Hey, it's Vin Diesel's head. Watch it, guys. Watch it with my head.
Watch this movie.
Whoa.
They
I want to
invent
see
a car.
Fast and the Furious with Vin Diesel getting his head chopped off and everyone trying to get Vin Diesel's head. It's in the trunk of the car bouncing around like,
I'm in the trunk of the car. Whoa,
I wanna
what
see
am I
Vin
doing?
Diesel's
Whoa, you
head.
guys.
A
Whoa.
little one-seater car
like,
driving
yeah.
around.
And then the
they're
head is
chasing
constantly getting like the shit beat out of it. People want get Vin Diesel's head. And they're all after his head. And it's just rolling around in the back seat. And then someone's got like their weights. They're moving their way. The weights are bumping up against him like boom. I don't know.
That hurts.
It's Vin Hey.
And then somehow they have to reattach his head because they've got 24 hours to reattach the head. And then it's Vin Diesel with like this really badass. Then he gets a neck tattoo to cover up the scar.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's all
Or he
that.
just wears
Why don't they
stars.
just go over the top with it? Fuck it, just go insane.
Got
Like
me on
Crank.
Vin Diesel head.
Yeah, like Crank. I love the Crank movies
I do
because they're
too.
so
They're
dumb.
ridiculous.
I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
You had me at
Second.
totally fucking stupid. It makes no sense.
So it could make some money.
All right, that's it for this week's show. I really want to thank Scott Davis and Mark David Christensen and Carlos Santos for just tolerating my my very passionate views about the summer movie season. 2013. You can follow the show, One Photo Reviews. It's at One Photo Reviews on Twitter. You can find One Photo Reviews on Facebook. You can also just go to onephotoreviews.com. Great show about movies. Really enjoyed it. One of those just like great roundtable discussions where everybody had something amazing to say. Awesome. So check them out. Also, follow me at that Chris Gore. Follow the show at PodCRASH Show. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/PodCRASH. Also, go to our YouTube channel. Check out some of our videos, youtube.com/PodCRASH TV, and go to iTunes. Give us a review, 5 stars if you think I deserve it, and leave a comment. I'll be reading some more of those. And also, if you're curious about participating in this new venture I'll be doing with Adrianne Curry, you can follow at REVENGEOFTHESHO on Twitter, and you will get the link to watch us do live run-throughs every Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be doing them for 2 hours. So, and you can participate and offer your feedback. And I think this is cool. This is the first time, because I've been a part of a lot of really. I've been a part of some bad shows. I'm going to be honest. I've been a part of some bad shows. I've been on some shows where I thought I was maybe could have gone a different direction. This is one where the audience really has control and really is an essential part of the show, huge part of the show. So I really invite you to take advantage of the next month where we're going to be figuring this out. This is going to be pretty awesome. We have some pretty interesting surprises. I can only tell you so much. All right, so that's it. Thank you for listening, and as I always like to say, let's get out of here.
I show you. I go teach you. Don't let tell you when. You not shut! Hey! Oh, holy shit! Marizaniyama! You tell him to stand up!
Hey, if you're listening to this, you're probably a lot like me. You're the kind of person who goes to every single summer movie. And you go to the late night screenings too. And then you're kind of maybe too tired to talk about the movie and you go home disappointed. Or maybe you're super excited and you can't stop talking about it. So you go to like one of those late night diners and you have like a breakfast type thing and then you can't stop talking about this great movie you saw. Well, that's me. And if you do that, then you and I are a lot alike. And I like you. And for that, you shall be rewarded. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to PodCRASH with that Chris Gore, 5042 Wilshire Boulevard, PMB 1500, Los Angeles, California, 90036. You will receive the PodCRASH Fan Club Kit absolutely free. Yeah, do it. It's easy. And if you keep listening, you'll hear a bonus piece of audio later.
Okay, so wait, we're skipping The Great Gatsby. We all feel that we just don't give a shit.
I don't
Bottom
give
of
a
the
shit. Lost Bourbon
I kind of.
And here's the worst part. Here's the worst part about Here's the worst part about Great Gatsby. It's based on a book.
Right.
Okay, it's based on a book.
This will be
with
the
like
reading in high
no
school.
pictures. There's no comic book version of it.
comic. This is
But he's kind of breaking it into a
was it
comic
a
book.
play once? No. And they would make you read it in school?
I think there is actually
Do
a play.
I go to the summer movies to escape, not see a movie based on a book that I was forced to read.